Deep in the heart of the Amazon rainforest lies a place untouched by time, hidden beneath endless layers of jungle, mist, and silence. No map has ever marked its location, and no satellite has ever captured its true shape. The local tribes speak of it only in whispers, as though even saying its name aloud might awaken something ancient. They believe the jungle protects it and chooses who may enter. For centuries, explorers have searched for signs of this forgotten place. Some returned with stories too strange to believe. Stories of glowing ruins, voices in the darkness, and golden light shining where no city should exist. Others never returned at all, swallowed by the endless green wilderness, leaving behind only unanswered questions and legends that grew darker with time. They call it the City of the Sun, a lost civilization said to have risen long before recorded history. Its streets were believed to be lined with gold, its temples carved from stone that shimmered in moonlight, and its towers reaching high above the jungle canopy like monuments built for the gods themselves. It was not merely a city, it was a kingdom of mystery, power, and unimaginable knowledge. At the center of this hidden world stood the most sacred object ever spoken of in ancient legend, a crystal known only as the Heart of the Sun. It was said to contain a force beyond human understanding, a power that could awaken stone, bend time, and reveal the deepest truths hidden within the human soul. Some called it a gift from the heavens. Others called it a curse waiting to be unleashed. By day, the Heart of the Sun absorbed light from the sky, drawing energy from the sun itself. By night, it transformed the city into a glowing beacon of golden fire, illuminating every street, temple, and stone tower beneath the darkness of the jungle. From miles away, travelers claimed they could see its radiance shining above the trees, like a second sunrise in the middle of the night. Far from the modern world, hidden beneath mountains and buried beneath centuries of silence, there existed a secret order known only to a chosen few. They called themselves Ordo Solis, the Order of the Sun. For generations, they preserved forbidden knowledge passed down through ancient manuscripts, carved tablets, and whispered teachings too dangerous for ordinary minds. Their purpose was singular: to find the lost city before anyone else, and protect or control the power hidden within it. In candlelit chambers deep beneath old stone halls, the Order studied maps that did not belong to any known civilization. Strange symbols moved across parchment like living ink, revealing pathways hidden from the eyes of ordinary explorers. Ancient warnings spoke of a sacred place buried beneath the jungle canopy, a place where light itself was alive. After centuries of searching, the Order finally discovered what they believed to be the first true path leading toward the City of the Sun. But reaching such a place required more than ancient knowledge. It demanded courage, endurance, and a willingness to step beyond the boundaries of reason itself. 5 explorers were chosen for the expedition, each skilled, each fearless, and each carrying secrets of their own. They were told they were searching for a lost civilization. None of them yet understood that what awaited them was far older and far more powerful than anything humanity had ever known. Under heavy skies and the distant sound of thunder rolling across the horizon, the expedition prepared for the journey ahead. Supplies were gathered, maps carefully sealed, and ancient symbols marked onto their equipment for protection. There was excitement in the air, but beneath it lived something darker: uncertainty. For even among experienced explorers, there was an unspoken feeling that this was not simply another expedition into the wild. It was a step into a place where the laws of the world might no longer apply. As dawn broke over the endless green horizon, the 5 explorers entered the Amazon jungle. Towering trees swallowed sunlight, thick fog wrapped around ancient roots, and every sound, from distant birds to rustling leaves, felt strangely amplified in the silence between them. Step by step, they moved deeper into a world untouched by modern civilization, unaware that with every mile forward, something hidden in the jungle had already begun to watch them. The deeper they travelled, the stranger the jungle became. Vines seemed to shift when no one was looking. Leaves trembled without wind. Shadows moved where nothing should have moved at all. It was as though the forest itself was breathing, alive, aware, and quietly studying every step the explorers took. What first felt like imagination slowly turned into something impossible to ignore. The jungle was changing around them. Paths that had been clear only hours before vanished beneath sudden walls of roots and thick vegetation. Familiar landmarks disappeared, replaced by landscapes none of them remembered passing. Trees twisted into unnatural shapes, forming archways and corridors that seemed deliberately placed. Every attempt to mark their route failed. It was as if the jungle refused to let them trace their own footsteps, or leave. One evening, as the team studied their ancient map beneath lantern light, something impossible happened. Lines began to glow faintly across the parchment, moving like streams of liquid gold. New pathways appeared where none had existed before, while others faded into darkness. The map was changing itself, responding to something unseen. And for the first time, the explorers realized they were no longer guiding their journey. Something else was guiding them. The next morning, their compasses lost all sense of direction. Needles spun wildly, trembling as though caught in a magnetic storm. Devices failed. Watches stopped ticking. Even the air felt heavier, charged with silent energy that made every breath feel unnatural. They stood in confusion, surrounded by endless jungle, with no clear path forward, except for one strange direction that every broken compass continued to point toward. A place hidden beyond reason. Then, deep between the trees, a faint golden light appeared. It was soft at first, barely more than a shimmer in the darkness, but it pulsed like a heartbeat, calling to them with quiet intensity. No one spoke. No one questioned it. One by one, they began to follow the mysterious glow deeper into the unknown, drawn forward by something they could neither explain nor resist. On the seventh night, the jungle fell completely silent. No insects, no birds, no distant calls of unseen animals. Even the wind seemed to disappear. A heavy stillness settled over the forest like a blanket of stone. In that unnatural silence, every breath, every heartbeat, every small movement felt impossibly loud. The explorers stood frozen, sensing that something ancient was about to reveal itself. Without warning, golden light burst softly between the trees. Not harsh, but radiant and warm, like sunlight shining through another world. It illuminated ancient trunks, vines, and stones covered in forgotten carvings. Strange shadows danced at the edge of vision, hinting at forms too quick to fully see. The light was beautiful, yet deeply unsettling, carrying with it the unmistakable feeling that they were being invited somewhere they were never meant to reach. At their feet, the forest floor began to glow. A massive symbol, an ancient mark of the sun, slowly appeared beneath roots and soil, burning with lines of golden fire. It was the same symbol found in the oldest records of Ordo Solis, believed to be nothing more than myth. Yet here it was, alive beneath them, pulsing with power that seemed older than civilization itself. Then the earth trembled. Cracks split across the glowing symbol as stone plates shifted beneath centuries of dirt and roots. Dust rose into the still air. Deep below, ancient mechanisms groaned awake for the first time in ages. Slowly, the ground opened, revealing a hidden passage bathed in soft golden light, descending into darkness below the jungle floor. Standing at the edge of the opening, the explorers stared downward into the unknown. Warm light rose from below like breath from a sleeping giant. Ancient walls carved with impossible detail stretched into darkness, hinting at a civilization untouched by time, Fear mixed with awe, and with no way back, they stepped forward, descending into the hidden world beneath the jungle, toward the City of the Sun. As they descended deeper beneath the earth, the narrow stone passage opened into a vast underground chamber, unlike anything they had imagined. Towers of carved stone rose into darkness above them, their surfaces glowing faintly with veins of golden light, running through ancient walls like living energy. The air was warm, still, and strangely clean, as though this hidden place had remained untouched by time, waiting patiently in silence for centuries.
Before them stretched an entire city, buried beneath the jungle floor. Wide stone roads lined with towering pillars disappeared into endless golden mist. Massive temples stood untouched by decay, their walls covered in symbols no modern scholar could read. Bridges arched over glowing streams of liquid light, flowing silently through the city like rivers of pure energy. It was beautiful, impossible, and terrifying in its perfection.
Yet despite its breathtaking beauty, something about the city felt deeply wrong. There were no people, no voices, no signs of life at all. Empty streets echoed with silence so complete it pressed against the mind like weight. Doors stood open to abandoned halls. Ancient market squares remained frozen in stillness, as though everyone who had once lived there had vanished in a single instant, leaving the city untouched but hollow. Then the city began to move. Soft pulses of golden light traveled through walls, floors, and towering structures like a heartbeat awakening from deep sleep. Stone beneath their feet vibrated gently. Pillars hummed with quiet energy. Shadows shifted where there should have been none. The explorers quickly understood a chilling truth. This was not a dead city of ruins. It was alive, watching, and responding to their presence. As they moved carefully through the glowing streets, faint footsteps echoed ahead, slow, heavy, deliberate. But no figure stood in sight. Only shadows moved across ancient stone, stretching unnaturally along walls before vanishing into darkness. Somewhere in the distance, something enormous stirred. Every instinct screamed danger. Whatever guarded this place had awakened, and it knew they were here. A violent tremor shook the ground. Cracks spread across a nearby stone platform, glowing with molten gold from within. Ancient dust exploded into the air as massive slabs of carved rock began to rise, piece by piece, assembling themselves into a towering humanoid form. Its body was made of stone older than history, marked with glowing runes pulsing like veins of fire. The first guardian of the city had awakened. Slowly, the giant lifted its head. It had no eyes, yet somehow every explorer felt its gaze locked directly onto them. Deep cracks across its body blazed brighter, filling the chamber with harsh golden light. Its chest rumbled like thunder trapped inside a mountain. Then it took its first step, shaking the city itself. Stone dust rained from above. The ancient protector had returned to life, and it was judging those before it. More shapes began to emerge in the darkness. Massive silhouettes moved between pillars and towering temples, each larger than the last. Some crawled across walls like living statues. Others rose silently from beneath the streets. The explorers realized with horror that the first guardian was not alone. This city was protected by an entire army of ancient stone beings, sleeping beneath its streets for ages, waiting for intruders to awaken them. At the center of the city, beyond countless glowing avenues and silent temples, stood a structure unlike anything else. A colossal golden sanctuary radiating light brighter than the sun itself. Its walls shimmered with living symbols, changing shape like flowing fire. Towers of polished stone rose toward the unseen ceiling of the underground world. Every road, every stream of glowing energy, every line of ancient architecture led toward this sacred place. The heart of the sun was there. Driven by equal parts fear and wonder, the explorers moved toward the radiant temple as the city around them continued to awaken. Golden light followed them through empty streets like silent eyes. The Guardians did not attack, but neither did they disappear. They watched. They waited. It was becoming clear that the explorers were not being hunted. They were being guided, led deliberately toward the temple's glowing heart, where something far greater awaited them. Crossing the threshold of the sacred temple, the explorers entered a chamber so vast it seemed to stretch beyond the limits of space itself. Golden pillars carved with impossible detail rose like ancient trees into darkness above, while streams of radiant light flowed silently through channels cut into the stone floor. Every surface shimmered with a living glow, and the air vibrated with quiet power, as though the temple itself was breathing in slow, ancient rhythm. At the center of the chamber, suspended above a circular altar of black stone, floated the heart of the sun. It was larger than any crystal should have been, faceted like a star, burning with layers of gold, amber, and white fire deep within its core. Light pulsed from it in slow waves, filling the chamber with warmth so intense it felt almost alive. No machine could create such beauty. No human hand could shape such perfection. Then the crystal began to pulse faster. Each wave of light grew stronger, pushing invisible energy across the temple like ripples through water. The explorers felt their thoughts shifting, their memories surfacing, their deepest fears and hidden truths rising from places they had long buried. It was not merely illuminating the chamber. It was reaching into their minds, touching the very core of who they were. One by one, golden light surrounded them completely. Time seemed to stop. Sound disappeared. In that silent brilliance, each explorer stood alone before visions that felt more real than reality itself. Moments of guilt, ambition, betrayal, love, fear, and regret laid bare without mercy. The heart of the sun was not choosing a conqueror. It was weighing their souls, measuring what lived in the darkness of each human heart. Suddenly, the chamber vanished around them, replaced by a vision of the ancient world as it once was. They saw the city of the sun alive in its full glory, streets glowing brighter than daylight, temples filled with knowledge beyond imagination, and a civilization in perfect harmony with the radiant crystal at its center. But they also saw pride grow within that civilization. And with pride came greed, division, and the hunger to command the power of the heart for themselves. Then came judgment. Light descended from the heavens like rivers of fire, pouring through towers, temples, and streets in blinding waves of radiant force. Stone cracked. Golden walls shattered. The once great civilization was consumed not by war, but by the very power it had sought to control. In a single terrible moment, the city was hidden beneath the earth, sealed away from humanity until a worthy soul could stand before the heart once more. The vision faded, and the explorers found themselves standing in a strange space beyond understanding. A place made of glowing geometry, endless darkness, and floating lines of living light weaving patterns like fate itself. Here, there were no walls, no sky, no ground, only the feeling of standing inside something ancient, intelligent, and infinitely powerful. They had stepped into the place where destiny itself was decided. From among them, one explorer stepped forward, drawn toward the radiant crystal, now glowing brighter than ever before. Every guardian in the city fell silent. Every stream of golden energy stood still. The world itself seemed to hold its breath. As the explorer reached out, the heart of the sun responded, its light growing warm, then fierce, then impossibly bright, as though recognizing something hidden deep within the human spirit standing before it. In the next instant, the temple erupted in a colossal explosion of golden light. Energy surged through every street, every pillar, every hidden chamber of the underground city. The guardians froze mid-motion. Towers blazed like stars. The jungle far above lit up like dawn in the middle of night. For one breathtaking moment, the lost city of the sun awakened completely, shining brighter than anything the world had ever seen. And then, silence. The light faded. The golden streams dimmed. Deep beneath the jungle, the city returned once more to quiet stillness, sleeping beneath stone, roots, and centuries of forgotten time. Yet somewhere in the darkness, faint light still pulsed softly, slow, steady, alive, waiting, watching, until the day the jungle chooses to reveal its secret once again, and the city of the sun rises from legend into reality.